vibration with angels and oracles, welcoming in the new year with angels and oracles. This is a special gathering with Phillip Mountrose here and Jane Mountrose, my wonderful partner, uh, co-founders of Awakenings Institute, dedicated to creating a more loving, prosperous world. And this is a special event today, uh, uh, bringing in a prosperous new year, a special archangel reading, oracles. And we're talking about how synchronicities are created and discovered and noticed through oracles and the kind of things we're doing. And part of this is what could be called us having a soul aligned intention. This is the time of year of making resolutions. Of course, it's a great year to take a great time to take advantage of that. And those soul aligned intentions could have to do with wholeness and spiritual growth and connectedness. And it has to do with living more deeply, more fully, learning, loving, creating a better world. And the beauty of what we're doing here today, right now, is as social science has confirmed, if you are with a group, the chances of you fulfilling your goals go way, way, way up. It's called situational.
Way,
Uh,
way.
yeah, it's called situational uh, learning or situational change, where the environment, in other words, in a group like this, a special group really increases the potential of your achieving your goals. And in this class and the upcoming uh, course we're going to have related to angels and abundance too. So we want everyone to mute themselves too, by the way, just to get a nice, clean, clear clean. So uh, Jane, you want to begin and give us a little more about the importance of intention and accessing your true identity as a creator?
Sure. I'd like to start as we generally do with a little breathing and bringing our energy together so we can be more in the moment for this experience, and also for to prepare to connect with angels. And for anyone who's watching and listening who hasn't connected with angels, they connect through the heart. They're beings of pure love. So we want to be in that loving place ourselves to meet them halfway, you might say, and with the pure intention for the good. So we can just start breathing now. Just as you inhale, imagine breathing in the most beautiful energy possible, the most loving, joyful, angelic energy from all the angels who are always around us, and just feel their presence and breathe in that love. And as you exhale, letting go. So with that exhale, you want to let go of anything that is not that. Just releasing anything that's heavy, anything that feels dense, with your intention. I think one of the parts of this experience is understanding how powerful our intention is, that we are powerful creators because the creator resides in us. And the place where that is localized in, within us is in our hearts. So we can just focus on that breath and feel yourself in the body, in your body, in the moment. And just notice how that feels. There's a simplicity in that. We often are all over the place and concerned about things that don't have anything to do with the moment. Now we can just be here together, as Philip was suggesting, and benefiting from this, the experience that we're having today. So, just as an overview of the big picture of what's happening here, is that we are magnificent spiritual beings. Excuse me, and we're all here to live fully and grow. And unfortunately, we've been conditioned to perceive that from a very limited perspective of what we see around us. We believe that what we see around us with our physical senses is reality. And what we want to do is turn that around and realize that rather than seeing as believing, look at believing as seeing, and that we are creators. Um, it's the that as within, so without, as above, so below, and we're starting here with as within. So we want to be focusing on what's happening inside of us and how our outside world is going to reflect that now and in the coming year. Um, Again, when we believe what we perceive with our physical senses, what we're doing is believing what you could call the illusion. It's the illusion of separation that keeps us apart when actually we are all one. And when we can look from that place of connectedness, and divine love to me is connectedness. It's a place where there is no separation between us and those we love, right? So if we're loving, you could say with divine love or unconditional love, then we are open to that space of understanding how we're all connected and how beautiful that is when we can come together and create together. I wanted to also mention, of course, at the end of 2025, it's a great time to envision the year ahead and maximize the inner resources that we have, which has been our focus, I guess, I guess technically all along, but I think for Philip and me, our perception of what that means has changed in maybe the last 5 years. We've actually been doing healing work since the early 90s, many years. Um, but we're going to talk a little bit about it and connect with the experience that we had that has brought us to where we are, wanting to connect with angels and other beings of light. I wanted to quote Archangel Raphael, who is said to have said, is quoted to have said, the divine plan for the earth and its peoples is that the angelic host, the kingdom, the human kingdom, and the elemental kingdom should serve together in harmony, creating the perfection of the kingdom of God on earth. I think I'll say that again because I kind of fumbled it. The divine plan for the earth and its peoples is that the angelic host, the human kingdom, us, and the elemental kingdom, all of the elements of the world around us, should serve together in harmony, creating the perfection of the kingdom of God on earth. And if God is not a word you use, that's fine. You can substitute of the creator, of the oneness of all that is. Um, that we are all we're bringing all of those aspects of life together and recognizing that there's so much more that's happening every day of our lives than we realize, with angels around us and beautiful, magnificent elemental beings, fairies, um, ascended masters, um, gods and goddesses. There are all of these aspects of kind of the hidden realms, you could say, and the higher realms that are influencing and can influence and can become uh, resources for us in living fully and growing and connecting, of course, with why we're truly here. So this is where the angels come in, and also we're going to do a card reading today. It's where the cards have come in too and have become a real uh, central focus for us over the last 5 or so years. We use oracle cards and tarot cards. We will be using both of those today. Um, it's how we learn to connect with the angels and how we have created those deeper connections with other things, and also more with ourselves, the resources that we need. And of course, your intuition, you connect with your own truth through your heart too. And the cards, using the cards uh, also helps that along a lot. It actually causes us to have to think about things in different ways that are very revealing
Mm-hmm.
and I think mind expanding. I think some of the people here who have experienced it with us would would agree. Um, So it's magical. So and that's going to be one of the major elements today is the magic in it, in being who we are and moving into this new year as magicians.
Hmm.
So what do you think, Philip?
So we're going to combine two powerful elements connecting with the archangels, a couple specific ones today, ushering in this new year. So you're in luck with a special group here and using specially selected oracle and tarot cards. And all of this will increase your intuition. As a holistic person, you, of course, are already pretty intuitive, maybe very intuitive. The question might be is how do you develop that intuition? And one of the best ways of doing that is what we're going to experience here is connecting with angels and oracles. It really puts that development, accelerates it, and shows you step by step how to do it in very tangible, practical ways. And then you can balance it out with your mind and your intellect as well. So there are so many things that the benefits of connecting with archangels, uh, your health, your healing, if you want that, if you want better relationships, finding out about your life purpose, more prosperity, more freedom, and the list goes on. And the archangels, as you may know, archangels, uh, Michael, Gabriel, Haniel, Metatron, Raziel, many more that are well known throughout history, um, are there with divine love. They really just evoke and emanate pure love, which is another thing. Just to be in connection directly with that energy will move you and change you. And each
Yeah.
of them have their own specific uh, gifts and shades and points of view that we can draw on. And Archangel Michael witnessed some of the well-known ones: courage, protection. Gabriel is often inspiration, and these are written about also in spiritual and religious texts too throughout history. There's Haniel, who's more of a feminine related archangel, although they really may transcend gender, but more depicted that way with feminine flow and divine grace. And Archangel Metatron, the scribe, the divine scribe, um, and the connecting messenger with the Akashic records and more. Um, so part of the idea of connecting with angels, which is really pretty simple, and being open to it is a basic requisite to believe you can. Just like in hypnotherapy, if you want to go into a trance, you have to open and relax to do so. So too connecting with angels, which is a sort of open stated, more higher minded, higher awareness. And you do that by beginning to relax. And we can do that as a little group meditation just momentarily here and get a message. And I'll draw in Archangel Metatron, who, as I said, sometimes is called the scribe of heaven. Uh, you may know the association with Metatron and sacred geometry, like the flower of life and Metatron's cube, and the Akashic records interpreting messages from that level. So we've found that Metatron, who I often view as just a kind of a bright light coming in as an energy that we can directly connect with. And if you open up to the energy, you may receive messages, which I'll receive and share and channel with you momentarily as we go into this brief group meditation. Now, so we can take a few breaths again just to relax, just kind of settle into the moment, noticing our feet on the floor as we breathe in nice, pure, clear breaths, taking back in our own energy again, allowing it to go deeper as we open our heart, feeling more open and relaxed, going to the perfect place, just a receptive place, an allowing place where we can connect with, in this case, Archangel Metatron. We just invite his energy in the way that's right for you now. And as he comes in, and for me, I'm sensing that golden, white, shimmering light, and asking him for a New Year's message for us to help us usher in this special occasion together as we help ourselves individually and ripple that out collectively. And Metatron says, so glad that you made it. You are here. We are here together, and together so much more is possible. You no longer feel or believe the illusion that you are separated. You are connected with us and everything and everyone in this moment right now. Can you feel it? Can you breathe that into your heart and let that ripple out of your aura and rippling out into infinity, ad infinitum? It just keeps going and going, those ripples of love and connection. And where there's some bumps along the way, you just go through that and you feel that energy and know that's always there with you, sometimes hidden from sight, but always available as it is to you in this moment right now. Breathe that in, enjoy it, use it, and much love in this year ending and coming into fruition to start again. Metatron. Thank you. So we thank Metatron, and when we're ready, you can open your eyes if they were closed, feeling your feet on the ground. And I know for me, just connecting with Metatron and other angels has really built my confidence, my guidance, confirmations. And like the oracle cards we're about to do, it gives you a sense of connectedness that you're in the right place at the right time. And if anyone else would want to share just their connections with angels and that experience, or just in general, feel free to share. This is a good time to do it. Welcome, everyone. A lot of friends here with us and some new people. Uh, what your connections are like. If you'd like to share anything, now's the time. Uh,
Hi, everybody.
hi,
I'm
oh
so
hi
happy.
Ashley. Good to
Hi,
see you.
Hi.
Ashley.
Happy New
Hi.
Year.
I'm so glad I got to make it. I was like rushing around. I was super excited. So I'm
Yeah,
glad
you
I got
landed
to.
perfectly.
I know I may have to hop out a little bit early, but I wanted to, you know, in the new year, that's what we could hope for, right? To land perfectly. I just wanted to speak on Metatron. I have Sherry here with me. She's one of the advising members for our center, and I was talking to her about Metatron, and for me, Metatron comes across as very funny.
Mm-hmm.
I've connected with him earlier on in my journey, and he has such a lighthearted sense of humor, but he's so generous and so helpful, and he doesn't take things too seriously,
Yeah,
that's for
he's
sure.
free flowing.
Yeah, very much
Mm-hmm.
so I always love connecting with him, and it's just a reminder for me to connect with him a little bit more because it feels good. So thank you for that.
Thanks for sharing. Anyone else want to share an angel connection, either in the meditation or in their general experiences?
I think the more I learn, the more they become more real, that they're there to, assist you in whatever it is that your quest is. And, adding the cards in just makes a whole lot of difference. So
Yeah. Yeah,
I
I
think
think
the
so.
class is fabulous, having taken it twice and probably another time.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a wonderful opportunity to connect with angels. And as I said, if you do it in a group experience like this, it's easier to access. You get others' insights and support, and the support of the angels on the card, the Oracle Tarot cards, which is coming up. And it really will increase your guidance and intuition. And that's what, I've found over the years, and people who take our courses report that back to us. It's really a great learning tool as well. Um, so that takes us, Jane, to um, how things have evolved with awakening into your magnificence, which is actually the title of our most recent book.
Right. I have our book here, it's called Your Journey into the Next New Frontier for Humanity,
Mm-hmm.
which is the way that we see it, that having this expansive view of the world uh, changes everything from what I from what I've experienced anyhow. And Metatron has been a big part of that for me, as many of you know, that it was about, I think it was 5 years ago approximately, that Metatron came and said it's time for you to access your full range of resources. And that's where really this whole part of our journey that involves these deep, deep, close connections with the beings of light who surround us, including the angels, where it all started. We had been connected with angels and different ascended masters for decades. It just was not the way it is now, which is more of a daily experience of experiencing our reality as being all of this that we're not seeing with our physical eyes, having that be our experience every day. And something I would say from a personal perspective about my own experience with the archangels specifically, and the angels are beings of pure light. It's almost hard to overemphasize that because they have never generally experienced, they haven't come into our reality to be part of our physical world. They're here actually to maintain, in contrast to us actually coming here and separating ourselves from the truth, from our creator, and from this vast reality around us. They have stayed connected, and they're here to share all of those gifts that Philip mentioned and more, with us as we ask. It's one of those things, seek and ye shall find. You have to ask for them in general. I think Archangel Metatron did come to me and made that suggestion of connecting with a full range of resources, which was almost like a teaser to me. It's like, oh, what is that? But then I had to go back and ask him for more. I think if I hadn't gone back, I might not have. There might not have been more. So it's important for us to realize that they honor our free will, and they're not forcing themselves on us. They're never trying to manipulate us. They're here just to support us. And that energy of love to me is life-changing from the angels. It's so beautiful and so profound. And anyone who's interested in growing, just to invite them to be with you as often as possible and to bless you, as Philip did, with their love and their light. And as Ashley mentioned, their joy. They're not heavy like we are. They're very light and bright.
Yeah.
I feel like there must be a lot of really beautiful spiritual energy here today, because as soon as Philip suggested that we started breathing to connect with Archangel Metatron, I also heard the music of the spheres, which is a very beautiful, high vibrational experience. And it's because of all of us collectively that we're all adding to something that is really special. And I just wanted to mention that because it doesn't happen every time for me or to me. I mean, that's something, I don't know, maybe I haven't thought of asking for it, but it's one of those things that is just, it feels like a gift. Anyhow, it's been one of the most amazing experiences, I think. I guess spiritual growth is that way. It's like it just keeps getting better. And this part for us has been, although we have faced challenges, as everyone does, just having that opportunity to connect more with our intuition and understanding who we are on a deeper level, getting more excited about life. And I just can't wait to get up every morning. I sometimes wake up and look at the clock. Is it time yet?
Yeah, and when you face challenges, the angels and the oracles and tarot cards are some of the best resources you could ever have.
Right. Increasing healing skills. I mean, there's so much that is possible here. And I think that the cards, when Metatron said to access your full range of resources, and we understood what that was generally, but then thinking of starting with the angels, the first question is, well, how do we get to know all of these archangels? And that's when the cards came in all right away. And we started with this Angel Wisdom tarot deck. And we're going to be using this among other things today. the positive thing about this is that with every card in the deck, there is an archangel that's connected with the card. So you can draw a card and then receive the message from the card and the little guidebook, and also just ask for a message from the archangel. And if it's new to you, just ask for it and write down whatever comes to your mind without evaluating it, because you have to start just letting it come in, which it will. Anyhow, so we've been doing all kinds of readings and used many decks in our program and elsewhere over these recent years. And one of the things that we realized is with Oracle and Tarot, a lot of people think, well, you draw cards, which is which is generally true, but you also can select cards. And I mentioned that because we're going to select the central focus card for today's reading. We'd like to start with a card that represents what this is really about. So with the new year coming and wanting to embrace our magic, wanting to embrace our full potential for realizing our dreams in the coming year, we decided to start with the card called the Magician in the Angel Wisdom Tarot. I'm going to show you this. I have another camera here, and you can see the card. Here is the Magician. This is, for those who are familiar with the Tarot, this is the Major Arcana card number 1. And you don't have to know anything about the Tarot to benefit from this. I think the thing to know is that this is one of the most powerful cards in the deck, and it is a way to bring out that magic in you. The card here, it says, magic is alive in your life. What you need to be a success will manifest. If you believe it, you can do it. And then the angel on the card is Archangel Raziel, and you can tell that there's a little abbreviation in the corner of each card. But it also says in the guidebook, Archangel Raziel stands ready to bring magic into the world. The magic that he pulls in with his right hand travels downward through his left hand, indicating as above, so below. So we have as above, so below, as within, so without. And you can see that on right on the card. And then with that, you can make a connection with Archangel Raziel to help you envision the year ahead. I wasn't going to do this part right now, but I just feel like it. What I want to do is connect with Raziel. And I also want to mention that another part of what we're going to be focusing on today is that each of us has a magical child in us. There's that idea of coming to heaven as a child. And if you approach this, connecting with Raziel and connecting with the Magician and everything that you're wanting to create this year from that place of childlike wonder, you might find that you'll get more than you thought from it. For me, when just mentioning magic and my magical child, I have a very deep relationship with that part of me from I guess experience, but we all have childlike wonder. So it's really about letting go of all that seriousness that holds us back and opening to even the thoughts of, as a child, how would you have felt, or did you feel about magic? The wonder of what might be possible, miracles, infinite possibilities, and openness to who knows what, all the best that can possibly happen to you. So then with that and with that childlike wonder, we'll do our second connecting with an angel, and this one being Archangel Raziel. So if you feel it's right, you can close your eyes again. And again, breathing in that love and just that pure intention to receive the best for you, for your highest good, and for everyone here for their highest good. We're going to invite Archangel Raziel to join us. And Raziel, another magical thing, which the magical child really likes also, is that Raziel often he appears as a rainbow of light. So you can just imagine that he is blessing you with a rainbow of light or rainbows. I often imagine it is sparkles of all different colors, which my magical child really likes that. Just surrounding yourself with that magic that he is. I'll tell you a little bit about him. He's considered the magician and spiritual guru of the angelic realms. He can support you with awakening to your spiritual gifts and accessing your psychic abilities. He's one of the most uplifting and joyful of the archangels. He always makes me smile. So if you're feeling a little down, just breathing and opening your heart to receive from Archangel Raziel might really change it. It might really turn your experience around. For now, just imagine being surrounded by those rainbows of light and also inviting them into your body, imagining that each of your cells is an intelligent entity of its own, and just ask each cell to take in the color or colors from the rainbow that are perfect for it, to energize it and feel the energy that comes from that. We look at the cells and actually all of the atoms within all of the cells. We want to support the energy, bringing more energy into our system through all of the atoms in our bodies. And just sense his energy. And as Philip suggested, there may be a message for you from him. Some of us are more auditory. We might hear more. Some of us feel more. You might just feel and know from what you're feeling what he wants to express to you. Or visual, you might see. You might see an image. You might see those rainbows of light very clearly. But just enjoy it. Allow him to share that beautiful, beautiful energy of divine love with you in his own way. And feel his joy. I just I just feel the joy. Philip, did you want to share any more? A message? Are you
From
sensing
Raziel.
anything?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just to appreciate the joy that's all around you, just open your heart and it will come in. It will come in the right pace for you and bask in that joy.
And don't forget, the magician is in you. The magician, he's known as the magician of the archangels, but you're a magician too. You have all the qualities of the divine. So just feel that. And that's the energy that we want to bring into this reading and presumably into the year ahead, every day of the year ahead. So with that, I'd like to ask Archangel Raziel to stay with us for the reading, to be our guide as we go through the rest of the reading. And also thank him. I think it's very important to thank them, to show appreciation and show love. At first, I didn't think that it mattered for me to say I love you to an archangel. It does. It's part of that collaboration and that sharing of energy between us. They're showing us love and we show them love too. Okay, so if your eyes have been closed, just breathing again, grounding your feet. With all this archangel activity, we have to stay grounded. So just note your feet connected firmly to the earth and breathing in more active energy to return to your normal waking state. And I think I'll just switch the camera for a moment. I'm curious if anyone wants to share what you feel with the energy of the magician and Raziel and your magical child, all of the things that are the opportunities for expansion that are here for us right now in this moment. Anybody? Oh, Sunny.
Hi, I'm at Starbucks. I have my earpods in, so hopefully it's not too noisy here. I had a beautiful experience, even though I was, there are people around. I felt the rainbow, and the rainbow really entered my heart. And my son actually is here studying, and I saw him being covered with the rainbow too. And I'm sure you all were as well. So it was really, really powerful. It was mystical. It was uplifting, magical. I would say definitely magical. So thank you. Yes.
Oh, thank you, Sunny. Anybody else want to share something? Yes,
yeah,
Pauline.
Thank you.
Hi.
I was thinking about what you said, Jane, about the magical child, and who could sort of imagine anything. Well, I didn't have that experience too much in my childhood, so I chose right now to say, well, I can have it now.
Wonderful.
I
Yeah.
can have it now,
Yeah.
and I just embraced everything that you said.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad that you could do that.
Thank you.
And that can be true, where some of us have more challenging childhoods, and we have been deprived of that kind of part of the joy of childhood. But we have an opportunity to turn that around now. And I saw that there was a little note from Manon. Let me see if I can get the chat. So I don't know. I guess it's not in the messages. Anyhow, she said something about feeling some pain in her heart. What that would indicate is that there's something that needs to be cleared to actually open fully to these opportunities. And that's good to know. We all need to clear, and all of us actually, I think, can use some expansion in our hearts. So that is part of it. There is also another another added wonderful bonus today, connecting with that childlike wonder. I'm going to bring out another deck. So this is going to be actually another deck for the same card, for the magician, and this is the inner child cards, which is another good way to connect with that childlike wonder. And I'm going to go back to the other screen so you can see the inner child cards. It's another really special deck, in my opinion, and you can see that they're very very beautiful cards. They have their own connections in the cards with fairy tales, and the magician in the inner child cards is Aladdin and the magic lamp, and you can see that illustrated here. Phillip is going to tell you more about that, and actually the role fairy tales can play. So we're layering on all of these different, you could say, archetypal energies that are bringing more depth to the experience that we're having here, and this focus on the magic. So Phillip, you want to share a little bit about the fairy
let's
tales?
go into the whole idea of fairy tales. And as Jane said, the inner child cards is called a fairy tale tarot. So the images and the cards, the major and minor arcana, as it's called in tarot, correlates with a fairy tale, which most of us are familiar with. And fairy tales are so powerful and magical. And there was a well-known book in the 1970s called The Uses of Enchantment by Bruno Bettelheim. He was a psychologist, but what he pointed out, I think quite rightly, not only he was talking a lot about childhood development, but it's really, I see, for adult development, a lot of the nuances of right and wrong and emotional complexity and difficult situations and building resilience comes out in these stories, these fascinating stories of fairy tales like the Aladdin and the lamp story that we're going to focus on, that particular one today. And it really helps develop for children their cognitive ability, their moral reasoning ability, their ethical ability, being resilient, all those things. But I see it not only for children, I see it in myself, a way of understanding situations. So you could have a challenge today and look at the magician card, the Aladdin. What would that evoke in you? What possibilities could that empower you with? What possibilities could that create for you? And we're going to explore that. So fairy tales are very powerful. And of course, they have a rich history, which creates a morphic field with all the people using them over the years. And it strengthens their power and their ability for us to activate it and achieve our goals, especially with all the other elements, as Jane says, that we're doing here with the angels and just the oracles in general, and being with a holistic group like this. All of this works synchronistically together. So in this reading, I'm going to do a 4-card reading around the focus of the magician. And I'll put up my magician in my second camera so you'll see that card again from the Fairy Tale Tarot deck. And there you have it. And in this card, it would be the focus of the collective reading for us all. And again, we're celebrating the new year, ushering it in with angels and oracles. And we already have Raziel coming in here too, as a component of this sort of multi-dimensional reading that we're embarking on right now. And if we breathe again into our hearts, we might want to sense or picture a scene of going to a place where we can connect with Aladdin and his lamp. And as you go to that special place, you sense or see that lamp, and from that lamp emerges that beautiful genie who can offer guidance for us, our wishes of what we can create, more possibilities for us in the world. And just breathing that in with Raziel overlighting it too with his magical multicolored rainbow effect, lightening up our possibilities, a great environment for creating here.
Can I add a little something?
Yes, please do.
If you imagine yourself as the magician in this card, the magician has access to all of the elements. We were talking about the elements earlier. So the magician has the power to wield the opportunities that are available in all of the elements. So if you imagine yourself as Aladdin with the magic lamp to support you in realizing your dreams for the coming year, you might feel some of that power, because this is part of that archetypal energy with the tarot, the magician. If you connect with that magician energy, you connect with what all of the people over centuries have actually experienced with it. So you have that power too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And just reading from the guidebook for the inner child cards, the Fairy Tale Tarot on the magician with Aladdin and the magic lamp, it suggests a genie may also be considered the guardian angel of the childlike pure mind, a presence that seeks to guide the child to self-mastery and ego-awareness. It's from this awareness that a child learns to perform, create, and manifest outwardly the dictates of the spirit-illumined mind or unconscious, the genie in the lamp. Okay, and harnessing those elemental forces of nature, air, earth, fire, and water, they help guide him. Okay.
It reminds me of that energy. We have something we call the miracle reframe, and connecting with a magician. It's like anything's possible, and miracles are happening now with the magician.
So going forward with the reading, we're going to do a special 4-card reading ushering in the new year. So we're all in luck to get this reading together. And as we said, we're going to combine the tarot deck, in this case, the Fairy Tale Tarot, and we also did the other Angel Wisdom Tarot earlier, with a oracle deck we like from Denise Lynn's Sacred Destiny here. And that will be part of the 4 directions reading. This is a reading that we teach in our upcoming course, the Spiritual Guide, Angels, Oracles, and EFT course starting January 14th. We'll tell you more about that. But for now, and I'll show you just the reading from the guidebook, and it's not important now to know all the elements, but just to give you a sense of it. The 4 directions relate to the elements, and the east is the air, and that's mental. The south is the fire, which is spiritual. The west is water, element, emotional, and the north is the earth, physical. And for the directions in the east, we'll have a card which is the focusing on the air, which is what is dawning, just like in sunrise, what is dawning in your life or in our life collectively for this reading. And then the south card, which I'll draw momentarily, what is your life expanding now? What's expanding in the south, the fire element? The west card is what is rising from the depths of your awareness. West is water. What needs to be integrated. And finally, the north card is the earth element and what needs to be nurtured, repaired, or healed. So that's the 4 cards. I'll draw them, tell you a little bit about what the cards mean. Jane will go further into it, and then
Can I share something before you draw?
Yeah.
A couple points. One is 4 is the number of foundation. So what we're doing with this 4 card reading actually is showing you the cards that can be for us collectively here, help us to build a foundation for the best new year ever, or however you want to look at it, for the most magical new year. And the 4 elements also are related to the time of day. So the east, where the sun rises, that's like morning. The south is like noontime, the fire element, the brightest part of the day. And then the west, where the sun goes down, that's where you enter the water element and what's rising from the depths. And then north is the nighttime. So it's what to reflect on, or what needs to be healed in those quiet hours of the night. And it just is it's a beautiful, when you get them all together, there's a synergy that comes in.
So this is developing your intuition. So just sort of let it unfold without trying to figure out much of it. It'll figure itself out. So we go back to the Oracle deck, the Sacred Destiny deck, for those 4 directions. I'll draw the cards for the group. And the first is the East, the air element, the mental element, what's dawning for us collectively and individually. And what is the card Emergence. Emergence, things, let's see. Yeah, you can see that. That looks pretty good. Emergence. Or excuse me, diligence. I don't know why I said emergence.
Does it say diligence?
It says diligence, and I don't know why.
Okay.
But it's interesting. Maybe I guess it's what's emerging is diligence. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And there's a bird flying over a landscape there. And in the guidebook, I'll just give you.
You want me to read that?
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
It's called Fallow Field, and one of the nice things about this particular deck is it starts with connecting whatever the keyword is, diligence, with nature, and then it gives you specific guidance for you. And so what you're looking for with this is not necessarily that every little bit of it is directed towards you individually, but just look for the things that give you that aha, like, oh, that's me. So it says, traditionally, fields were left fallow, unfarmed, for extended periods of time to allow the soil to recover and rebalance its nutrients, to break disease and pest cycles, and to provide a haven for wildlife. Letting fields go fallow meant that the subsequent crops were much healthier and more vibrant. Engaging in this time-honored process takes patience and diligence, but the results are worth the wait. The sacred landscape wants you to know. There are times in life to step forward and take risks, but there are other times to be patient, step carefully and slowly, and know that the benefits you will gain in the future will be worth it. Be attentive, meticulous, and persistent. Use this time to plan for action steps in the future. Interesting. Be diligent and consistent at each step as you move forward. By doing so, you will harvest remarkable results in the years ahead. This is not a time for instant gratification. Your diligence will pay off in the future tenfold. This is the time for deliberate organization. Clean house, clear clutter out of your life. Be thoughtful about how you spend your time, and be discerning when choosing with whom you spend it. Clear out relationships that do not support you.
So we're clearing out the old and planting the new.
Right. Yeah, that's
Perfect for this
beautiful.
time of year.
Yeah.
So let's go to the next card, the south, the fire element, and that has to do with what's expanding now. So what's expanding is protection. Okay, we're being protected. The magician is saying we can be protected, Raziel. So that's comforting. Did you want to read that one, Jane?
Sure. And it's interesting because Archangel Michael is often connected with protection, and he's an archangel who is also connected with the fire element. So you might even imagine Archangel Michael, and when you look at the four directions, Archangel Michael is often connected with the south, as this is. Guardian oak. In many traditions, the oak tree is associated with wisdom, strength, and protection. One of the many remarkable things about the oak is that the smallest acorn, a powerful tree of enormous size, from the smallest acorn, a powerful tree of enormous size can spring forth and live for hundreds of years. The roots of the oak go as deep into the earth as its branches reach into the sky. The oak is honored for its expanse, its nobility, and its endurance. Additionally, its tendency to attract lightning confirmed in the minds of many ancients that the oak represented life force, vitality, and strength. Many cultures revered the oak and honored the living spirit within it. They believed that there was a mystic doorway in the oak tree through which one could travel to inner worlds. The oak is one of the most compelling symbols for protection. Before I read the sacred landscape part, I wanted to mention Philip and I went to a place yesterday and we walked a labyrinth, and there was the most enormous oak tree I've ever seen there. And we spent some time with that oak tree, so that was really interesting. The sacred landscape wants you to know one of the most potent signs on the sacred landscape is the ancient oak. It carries numerous meanings. You are protected. You can weather anything. Your roots go deep. You are brave and you can survive anything. I can just hear Archangel Michael. Stand strong. You carry the energy of a leader and you have great authority in life. Great wisdom is expanding within you, and others sense this. This card can also mean to protect your assets, take care to guard and protect your home, your loved ones, and yourself.
Yeah, that sounds very assuring. So that takes us to the west position, and the west position is the water element, what's emerging from the depths of our awareness. What is emerging here? Solitude.
That's interesting.
In the solitude. In my solitude. So we may need to kind of reflect on all of this and go a little deeper and be with ourselves and meditate on what we're experiencing here to help integrate it.
Right. Do you want me to read this one?
Yes.
Sacred Island. And can you bring the card closer so we can see it? I don't know if you can get it closer to the camera just to see that. Beautiful. Islands are bodies of land surrounded by water. They can be in an atoll or river basin. However, the ocean surrounds most islands. They can be massive with their own unique verdant ecosystems, or they can be small and barren. The terrain may be flat or mountainous. They can be a detachment from the mainland through erosion, or they can arise from the sea through volcanic activity. The thing that is university in all islands is their isolation, and many cultures assign mystical symbolic meaning to particular islands. They are thought to be resting places of the gods, and thus are used for sacred purposes. So you can imagine yourself on that island of your own of your own creation, just being in that sacred space with yourself. The sacred landscape wants you to know, spend some time alone. In your life, this means take your own counsel rather than relying on the opinions and dictates of others. Break away from the crowd. Be on your own. This card also speaks of self-resourcefulness, self-reliance, and tenacious individuality. If you are working on a project, trust your instincts and follow your own lead. Your creativity is at its peak. Let it flow. If you are in a relationship that is disempowering, this card suggests that it is time to step away. Take time to reaccess your life. In solitude, you will thrive. This card also suggests safe haven, a sacred womb for incubation and self-transformation. A lot of powerful cards we're getting.
Yeah, we really are. So that takes us to the final direction in the 4-card reading, with the focus on the magician there with Raziel overlighting it. And that would take us to the north. The north is the earth element. It has to do with nurturing and repairing, which you can kind of think of the earth being earthy and healing. And what do we need to be aware of, know about that? Taking action. So there's some things to heal, some things to repair. So we may be aware of that. So from our solitude, it may say, hey, there's some things I need to take care of here going forward in this year and not delay. And as we said, being in a group experience in this makes it easier to do that. Jane, you want to give some insight or the interpretation of the
Yeah,
action
I'm
card?
just, for some reason, I'm going right from success to, it looks like, well, my pages.
Let me read it. I've got it.
Yeah, for some
So
reason, I don't know if
That's okay.
I did want to mention that to me feels very interesting because we can't stop with just wanting and deliberating and intending. We need to take action. It's interesting.
Yeah, being in a group like this is taking action, and it's suggesting some of our next steps for developing our intuition and our purpose. And the reading in the guidebook, Storms, Cloud, Gathering. So have you ever been outdoors just before a storm? You feel energized and alive and maybe even a little high, as if your body is being fed energy and vitality from the storm. The energy in the atmosphere is building literally, and your body can feel it. Storms are necessary to replenish and refresh the land. So that's part of it here. They can feel disruptive and dangerous and cause damage, but without storms, the planet wouldn't be renewed and replenished. So that's that law of rhythm, that things are continually changing, the law of vibration, the universal laws, which we go further into our courses in. When you understand the deeper energy of storms and can embrace that energy within your body and your life, that's interesting, then you're always poised to take action when it is called for, which apparently this is the time. So the meaning of the card suggests a shift is coming. Time is now. Don't hesitate. Face your fear. Do it anyway. When big change is on the horizon, it's time to take action. Of course, there are times to deliberate and carefully consider your next step, which we were suggested having diligence for. But not now. Now's the time to take immediate action. So looking forward with a calm, steely gaze, and then forge ahead with clarity, determination, power, and grace. Quicken your spirit by making decisions now, even if you are not 100% certain of your decision right now. It's better to make any choice than none at all. So that's interesting that there's kind of a diligence rising up there in the east. about looking at things and being deliberative. And then in the north, we need to repair or heal maybe some part of us that hasn't been taking sufficient action, which is called for.
I want to mention, by the way, the card is not taking action. It's action. So
Action,
if
yeah.
anybody was looking for it and having a problem like me, if you have the
Yeah,
deck,
it's just called
it's
action.
because it's called action,
Yeah.
not taking action. Although
Yeah.
it is obviously about that, but it's interesting. I got this card one time with storm, and it said storm clouds gathering, and I was thinking, well, gee, I was feeling great until I started this reading, and now it says storm clouds gathering. And this is an interesting, I think, thing to note. Also, with these cards, if you have this deck or are interested in getting it, one of the wonderful things with this deck is you can imagine going into the card, into the scene on the card. So this one, you can go into that scene with the rough seas, which I did, and I was standing on the shore, and I was looking out over the water, and there were all kinds of people there with their hands up like they were drowning. And what happened was I realized that I was there, not, you wouldn't want to say to save them, but to support them so that they could make it back to safety. And so the minute I thought about it, I was able to energize them so that they could come back to shore. And I realized that for me, it was actually about being there to support other people in their stormy seas.
Mm-hmm.
So
right.
When you look at these cards, the message for you might not be the most obvious thing. And you can imagine yourself as that strong oak tree with roots going deep into the earth and the leaves reaching high into the skies. Just ask what the message is for you, because
right.
it's for each of us, each one is going to be unique.
It will be unique, and I want to tell an interesting story or message that could be read from these cards. Again, you may want to adapt it to yourself. So we started off with the diligence here, coming from the east in the four directions. And that means it's time for us in the fallow fields, and the overview there is that, what do we need to clean out? What do we need to focus on? Be deliberative. And then
What's
from this,
rising in the new
what's
day?
rising, right, in this new year, this transitional time, this liminal time, it's sometimes called, where we are right now. And from the south, the fire element, what's expanding is protection. And that's a beautiful, assuring card. Like, okay, wow, I need to clean out things. I need to do new things, which can evoke some fear, but know that we are protected not only by Archangel Michael, but we have many other resources to protect ourselves, which could add to our confidence going forward. And then,
and we're stronger than we think. I
and we're
think that's
stronger
another
together
part
also.
about it. If you think of being that strong oak tree and sensing your roots going deep in the ground and your leaves reaching high into the heavens, each of us, we're much more than we know.
Right. And if you going to the third card, the West card, the water card, what's emerging is solitude. Be in solitude, and I know many of you do meditative type practices. What's it suggesting to you? What do you need to go forward? What do you want to really create? What resolutions do you have? And then finally, from the north, nurturing and repairing, well, there's an action here. When you put it all together, you can take appropriate, inspired action. And you put all these pieces together, and that would be enacting the magician, empowering yourself to create the life and the world that you want to be in.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So before we close, and just mentioning how we're integrating.
You want to see if people want to comment?
Yeah, and we have ways of going forward from this point, and I know some people are already going forward with us in the next step, but comments or questions from anyone, just sharing on this reading for you, this 4-element reading, 4 directions with the magician leading the way. Yes, Terry.
I I felt the same hesitation, perhaps that Jane was speaking of when we said storm, because I was thinking, oh God, more storms. And yet I had a memory recently, and it popped into my head again, of traveling when I was young and um, looking in the rearview mirror. I was driving away from Mesa Verde, um, the national park in Colorado, um, of the cliff houses, that were discovered. And I saw this incredible bank of clouds that were purplish and black. I mean, and I had to stop and turn around, and there was a double rainbow.
Wow.
Perfectly framing it. I didn't have any more film in the camera, but the image, by stopping and seeing it, was imprinted in my mind and my heart. Um, and so I'm thinking of those incredible storm clouds, and yet a double rainbow, this
Right.
time of blessing. And it was so vivid. It wasn't faint at all of the colors of the spectrum. And so it helped me think that maybe the storms are behind me.
And you need a
Right.
stormy sky to see a rainbow, like Raziel's rainbow energy.
Right.
Yeah.
It
And then
also
to
made
realize,
me think, Terry, that you had a choice. We were talking about that it's what you believe, as within, so without. There are so many stormy clouds out there now in our society and in humanity, and
yeah,
yet you saw the storm and you also saw the rainbow. So which one do you want to choose?
sure. And then to think
Yeah,
that,
and that's beautiful
that,
also, that to get that message that the storm is behind you, and you can, that's where you want to put your focus, is on the rainbow that is there for you now.
and the angel of that is part of the rainbow. Um, so that
Yeah, Raziel.
tied into that
Yeah.
as well. So it just seemed really powerful. So thank you for reminding me of that. And
Well,
Yeah.
even to, you know, to see my own hesitation, my own reluctance to, oh God, to project stormy weather rather than, I'm just really glad I was given the vision again that it was something else. Yeah. So thank you. Yeah.
right.
Great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyone else want to
Can I say
briefly?
one more thing
Yeah, go
about
ahead.
that? It's also what Terry's talking about too, is connecting with the messages in the elements. One of the things we talked about, that expanded view of reality, to see what the message is and what's happening outside you in the elements, what the message is for you specifically, because it's always uniquely individual for each of us. And that's beautiful what you were given.
Thank you.
Right. So thank you, Terry. Anyone else want to briefly share just something they got from their the 4-card reading?
This is Margaret. I'll share a little something.
Great, Margaret.
Very interesting for me. There was something very significant when we were reading the second card with the oak tree, and you were talking about the roots being as into the ground as high as the tree is. I had a very powerful visual of my own roots being very deep into the earth. And one thing I earlier in my life, but not so much now, but I was definitely, storm cloud, I would be like Terry was saying, oh God, not more clouds.
Right.
But when I saw both of the last two images, even though they're dark, what really struck me about them was the light that was coming through, and this sense of that all of that the darkness is it's just obscuring what is always there, which is the light, and
Right.
it's always there to move to, and I felt like it was a very positive. It was a very they were both very positive cards for me, even though they were considered dark cards in a way. I felt them very positive. And I felt that it was all sort of somehow I was rooting all of that positivity and the light. I was rooting that, grounding that in within me. So the reading overall for me felt very positive, reassuring in some way. I mean, I'm still going to feel into it and see where it goes, but it was
Yeah.
still very nice. So thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, I think, well, there was a lot of power in that, in all of those cards, like diligence, like stepping out and being real careful and thoughtful with where you're going in the coming year, and knowing that you have those skills to be able to move forward one step at a time. And it reminds me also that just the whole the kind of story of of planting seeds, that you plant the seeds and you nurture them. You have to be diligent. You plant your dreams, with your energy and with your intention, and then you have to nurture them so that they can grow and become, so as within, so without can be realized.
Right.
So I think there's a lot in this that's really beautiful.
Yeah, and just those dark images that were in the cards Margaret was referring to, sometimes we need the darkness to see or find the light.
Right. We need to know we can overcome. Just because we have a stormy day outside doesn't mean that we have to be that way. We can still be the magician inside and experience the wonder.
Right. So this was a really wonderful reading and a wonderful group. And this is also, in some ways, an introduction to our upcoming course. I'll mention it to you. And I know some people are already enrolled in it, but it's coming up soon at this point, January 14th, Abundance with Angels, Oracles, and EFT. And it's a wonderful course for those who feel inclined or want to go further into what we've been discussing here today, because you're going to have that group support, which if you want to achieve your goals, if you want to be more connected with angels, your intuition, your spiritual growth, doing it in a group, especially a group like this course, and the people like the ones who are here today at the webinar, it's just a really opportunity, a privilege to be connected with people like that. And amazing things happen, transformations when you're with a group like that. So it makes it a little easier. You're more spiritually aligned. You go to gettingthrough.org, gettingthru.org/spiritual to find out more about that upcoming course. Jane, did you want to add anything about that? Or are there some of the people who are enrolled that if they want to add anything about the upcoming course, some people may want to join us who are not already enrolled.
Right. Well, of course, everyone is welcome. And just, I think, to take that time for solitude to really assess what's important to you. It's so easy to be in a momentum, and then we're just trying to decide on the go rather than, okay, and here we are, it's the 30th. The next few days would be a perfect time to have for yourself and recognize the magic, that oak tree. You're that oak tree, and anything is possible now.
Yes, anything is possible. Miracles are happening now. And if anyone wants to add anything about like this kind of training or going further with it, feel free to share just for the group. Someone is kind of looking at this, because I know some people have already taken some of the trainings, because this is one of 3 courses in the spiritual guide program.
Bonita's taken it twice already.
Abundance, yeah, some people. Abundance with Angels, Oracles, and EFT course starting January 14th.
And Margaret.
And Margaret.
Margaret.
Yeah, several people enjoy it, because part of it is the community and finding a community like this, which is so special, just that alone. And
and it always feels new.
It's definitely worthwhile, and it's a great group to hang out with, and you just learn, and it's just like layers. You learn, you have this basic, and then you just keep adding information and stuff and how to actually work with it. It's not just theory, it's we're working with it, and it is just hugely important.
Yes, it is. It's layers and layers of depth. It's really wonderful. It's very enlivening and inspirational, and
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah, and fun,
transformations
of course,
occur.
as we
And
had
fun.
today. Hopefully, some
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, good. So great being with everyone for celebrating the new year with Angels and Oracles, a special gathering with Phillip Mountrose, Jane Mountrose, and everyone here. Great.